Or under oath, I remind you, Mr. Go, ulitin ko yung tanong ko para maging maliwanag. Would you admit or would you deny na yung mga doktor na ng inyong networking ay nakakatanggap ng komisyon coming from your company? Yes or no?
There are two.
No, sir. Yes or no? Yes or no lang po,
I
please.
deny.
You deny. Makukulong ka ngayon. Because meron ako mga cheque na magpapatunay na kayo yung kumpanya mo nag-issue sa mga doktor na miyembro ni... Yari ka ngayon.
Before we proceed with Balkans,
Okay.
DOH1.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me first thank the Senate Committee on Health, chaired by Senator Go, for unearthing this particular scheme. Secondly, I'd like to thank Senator Rapi Tulfo for exposing this during the last hearing. And as you very well know, when I did a little investigation, I have found that what your allegations have been saying in the last hearing were true. Hence, I issued immediately the administrative order reminding all government physicians about generics and everything. So I'd like to remind I would like to expose to the committee some certain things about the generics law, the generics law RA 6675, which was passed decades ago. And this required all physicians to prescribe generics. Actually, this is by law, and there is a penalty therein when the physician does not prescribe the generic name. So all physicians, after we pass the Generics Act, we are supposed to prescribe the generic name. And if the physician does not follow this, there are penalties in the law. And this is something the committee can look into, because the penalties are now so small, because the penalties put in there for first offense, it is a reprimand. For the second offense, it is 2,000 to 5,000 pesos. For the third offense, it's 5,000 to 10,000 pesos plus suspension of 30 days of license.
Secretary, but you cannot prevent the doctors for also naming the brand names, correct?
Yes. So the prescription, according to the law, is you can write the generics name alone,
And the brand name.
or you can put underneath the generic
Correct.
name, in parentheses, your preferred, the doctor's
Yes.
preferred brand. But
Correct.
in the implementation, the patient is given the choice at the pharmacy level. They are given the choice to ask for the generic brand they like, not the choice of the physician. So this is very clear in our generics law, and maybe we should look into the penalties to prevent all these scam, multi-level systems that are happening and are benefiting some of our physicians. For government, we only prescribe generics because in the government hospitals, we have to procure, based on the RA 9184, drugs that are listed in the Philippine National Drug Formulary. So for government hospitals, we only prescribe generics. In fact, the non-generics are the ones that are prescribed in the private hospitals. Also, when the Universal Healthcare Law was passed, our author for the Universal Healthcare Law is here. We included provision of the law. It is Section 23. It created a bioethics committee, and it also required, similar to the US, a Sunshine Act, wherein pharmaceutical companies are supposed to report to the DOH and the FDA. Section 35, Section 35, the ethics and public health policy and practice under this law. And I'm very happy to note that this is all actually being done. And pharmaceutical companies are supposed to report to our FDA all grants, all contributions and gifts that are given to public hospitals, private hospitals, etc. We also signed the Mexico Principle and the Kuala Lumpur Principle. These are code of ethics, international code of ethics, and we are signatory to this. The Mexico Principle is the code of ethics for the biopharmaceutical industry. So all businesses, all businessmen in the field of pharmaceutical business should also follow this guidelines. That means the gifts are prohibited excessive gifts are prohibited to be given to those that will benefit from them. The Kuala Lumpur principle is also the same in 2011. This is for medical devices. Ito naman po yung mga medical devices. So we are one with the Committee on Health and all the senators who have made the privileged speeches yesterday regarding this multi-level marketing. Number one, it is unethical. Now, let me also add that we also have the law on Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. If a physician is practicing in a government hospital, he is considered a public official or a public servant. Therefore, the rules of the government service apply, and accepting gifts is punishable under the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act in the Philippines. And we can file, if we prove this, that they did indeed receive excessive gifts like luxury cars and expensive watches and full paid trips, and this is not disclosed, or there is no disclosure, this will have to be, we have to file cases to the Ombudsman. In fact, after that hearing, Mr. Senator, we also asked the director of the hospital involved, which is a government hospital, to start to investigate if there are government doctors in his institution that are either stockholders or practicing this multi-level marketing practice in their practice in that hospital, because then we can use these laws to actually file cases against them. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, makasingit. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Secretary Ted Herbosa, sa pag-amin na yung mga sinabi ko nung last hearing ay totoo. And that's very important to me, na para alam natin ngayon na meron talagang nangyaring kababalagahan sa medical community, na ito yung dahilan kung bakit yung nag-hearing, para maayos yung problema yon, and we can pass legislation upang ma-address yung samot-saring problema. Now, Mr. Chair, I will submit to this committee the list of doctors involved in the MLM scheme, subject to verification. Marami po ito. Kung babasahin ko ito isa-isa, baka hanggang mamayang gabi tayo. But we have to investigate this and file appropriate charges if need be kung talagang sila involved. Although may mga kopya ko ng cheque na in-issue ng Belkens sa mga doktor na involved dito sa scheme. And then also itong sa Security Exchange Commission. But mamaya, just mention some names, a few of them, na pasok di na diin sa scheme na ito. Pwede ako magtanong, Mr. Chair? Isa lang?
Sa kay DOH. Go ahead, sir.
Dalawa actually, kay Secretary Herbosa. Secretary Herbosa, hindi lang ba nalaman na merong ganitong klaseng scheme after my expose? O alam nyo na ito way before, because you've been a practicing doctor before you became a Secretary of the DOH. Am I right, sir?
Ang alam, trips to foreign conferences and probably meals in expensive restaurants. But itong scheme wherein subscription is counted and a quota is made, yung multi-level marketing, ngayon ko lang nalaman na may ganung multi-level marketing. And ngayon ko lang nalaman na ganun ka exorbitant yung mga gifts, from expensive to luxury cars.
Okay. Granting ngayon lang po nalaman na meron palang ganitong klaseng scheme. Ngayon alam nyo na yung plan ninyo, sir.
So nakausap ko na po ang FDA at pinaimbestigahan ko na ang pharmacies that kind of scheme kasi they are violating the Mexico principle, which their CPR and their license to operate is actually based on. Pangalawa, kinausap ko yung director ng ospital na medyo na-mention sa social media. Putok naman po kung anong ospital, at inutusan ko siyang gumawa ng investigation. Hinihintay ko pa ho ang report nun. Pangatlo, kinausap ko ang president ng Philippine Medical Association and natuwa naman ako, naglabas si Dr. Kalimag ng issuance and reminder. Yung Code of Ethics na pinakita po ni Dr. Tony Leachon ay ni-reiterate din ni Dr. Kalimag. At kinausap ko rin yung PCP president si Rontin Solante para i-remind din lahat at nag-issue rin siya. So kumakausap naman ako dun sa mga mabubuting doktor natin, ng mga opisyal sa kanilang mga society para tulungan ako para dito tulungan tayo, Senator Tul, para makita ang punot dulo nitong problemang ito.
Thank you, Doc. Now, gagawa po kayo ng investigasyon tungkol dito. Since we still don't have a law against this practice na conflict of interest ng mga doktor kasi involved sila sa MLM ng Belkens Pharmaceutical Incorporated. Kapag napatunayan na sila po ay guilty, ano pong klaseng sanction ang pwedeng maipataw sa kanila? Ano po yung pwedeng maikaso sa kanila? Ano pong pwedeng maiparusa sa kanila? Sir.
So, Mr. Chair, ang gagamitin nating mga penalty ay kung ano yung allowed by law.
Which is 2,000 pesos.
Merong suspension at may revocation. Ako naman, na-interview ako kaninang umaga sa television at sinabi ko, kung ganito ko exorbitant yung regalo, millions of pesos, siguro naman pwede ang revocation dyan. Kasi it's the gravity of the crime. So, bahala po ang Board of Medicine ng PRC para mag-decide doon sa penalty kung ano doon sa nakabase sa batas. Ang isa ko pang nakita po, meron pang isang batas na pwede natin gamitin. Bawal din po kasi sa mga doktor ang magbigay ng reseta at doon mo bilhin yung gamot sa kanyang clinic. Meron tayong pharmacy law na naipatas, RA 10918, wherein
Ano pong penalty?
nagbawal na po. Hindi ko kabisado, hindi naman po tayo abogado, pero may penalty din po doon kasi ang penalty doon, bawal ang doktor magbenta ng gamot kung wala kang pharmacy license. So pharmacist lang po ang pwedeng mag-dispense ng gamot. So kahit makakareseta lang kami, pero hindi kami pwedeng magbenta sa aming mga klinika at opisina ng any gamot kahit food supplement.
So Doc, ang tanong ko, kapag nakakuha kayo ng proof na tulad nitong napakarami sa listahan ko, daan-daan po ito, na kasama nga po sa networking ng Belkens, mga doktor, ano po yung magiging immediate action ninyo? Ano po yung maasahan ng taong bayan?
Siyempre mo, Mr. Chair and Mr. Senator, we will ask for due process. Siyempre, papasagutin natin sila. Usually, a show cause ang hinihingi
Yun nga po, sorry Doc. Yun nga, tapos na tayo dun sa due process, tapos na tayo sa show cause. Pag na-prove na guilty nga sila, ano po yung pwedeng kahinatnan nila?
So, number one, we can file charges kasi pag nakita yung kahit ethical po, pwede kong iakyat yan sa Board of Medicine for revocation of license, suspension of license. Pwede ko rin iakyat kung sa ospital namin, DOH Hospital, pwede kong iakyat sa Ombudsman for cases against these public officials po.
Okay, ngayon naman dun sa PRC. PRC, magandang hapon po sa inyo. Kumusta po kayo? Nagkape na po kayo? Okay. PRC, marami na po ako natatanggap na reklamo na inuupuan niyo po yung mga reklamo.
Senator, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Tol Tolentino. Babalik lang po siya.
Na marami raw pong mga cases na inuupuan niyo. Now, ang tanong ko po, ano bang kailangan ng PRC na mga ebidensya na para yung mga doktor na inireklamo agad-agad mapapatawan ng karampatang parusa or sanction? And second question, bakit po ang bagal ng paglitis nyo ng kaso dyan po sa PRC na inaabot po raw ng siyam-siyam?
Thank you very much, Honorable Senator Tulfo. With the permission of the Chair, Senator Bongo, let me provide the background on the adjudication of cases being filed with the Board of Medicine. So all of these cases involving medical professionals are filed with the Board of Medicine. And if there's a written complaint from a complainant, then they will have to file their complaint affidavit, and the professional against whom the complaint was filed will have to submit a counter affidavit. Then we have processes like mediation, initial mediation. If they don't agree, there's no agreement between the two parties, then it's either formal trial or submission of position papers.
Yung binabanggit niyo po, yun yung due process. Tama?
Yes po.
Wala tayong problema dyan. Ang aking problema po, bakit napakatagal po ng due process ninyo? Pakisagot po direct to the point, please. Bakit po inabot ng siyam-siyam?
Ang system po kasi namin is just like the system in the regional trial court, especially if it's trial type. So, magpe-present muna yung nagko-complain, and then magpe-present din yung respondents. And it takes very long because of the number of respondents sometimes, because let's say the surgeon operated and there are assistants and there is a physician, medical internist who gives the clearance. There's an anesthesiologist who performs the anesthesia. So medyo marami
Again,
po.
sorry to cut you short. I'll give you an example. Yung isang pasyente nagpa-opera and then si doktor nakalimutan niyang tanggalin yung gunting sa loob ng katawan ng pasyente. Very clear yun. So inoperan ulit yung pasyente at nagkaroon ng complication at grumabi yung kanyang sakit. So ano pang kailangan ng mga ebidensya doon? Bakit pa kailangan ng kung ano mga cheche-boreche? Nandiyan na po yung ebidensya, x-ray and all na nagkamali yung doktor. Yung ganong klaseng mga kaso, inaabot po ng 10 taon. Bakit po? Nandiyan ang ebidensya.
Yes, Your Honor. Pero dadaan pa rin ho sa proseso namin. But
I know
we-
that
we
sa proseso,
acknowledge-
pero bakit po abuti ng 10 taon? Nandiyan na nga po yung pasyente, pakita niya yung x-ray na meron talagang gunting na naiwan sa loob ng kanyang katawan, papakita din niya yung nangyaring complication as a result, pakita din niya na siya'y naging grabe, nagkasakit, etc. And then isasubmit yan sa PRC. Why would it take 10 years?
We accept that the evidence that may have been presented is already solid or valid and can already result to a decision. But the respondent sometimes comes up with, and the complainant comes up with expert witnesses who are also physicians who may be giving contradictory opinions regarding that.
Ano pa pong expert witness ang kailangan? Eh, nandiyan na nga po yung x-ray ng pasyente. Inadmit siya, nakalagay ang pangalan ng doktor nag-opera sa kanya, yung araw na inoperahan siya, anong ospital yun, at yung makikita doon na nagkaroon complication because of that gunting na naiwan. Ano pa kailangan na pasikot-sikot
Wala na po.
para abutin po ng isang dekada? Ang sa akin po kasi, kinumpara niyo po kayo sa RTC. Iba po yung RTC, iba po yung PRC. Please do not compare. That's apples and oranges, okay? So sa PRC, mas madali ho dapat kayo makapag-action. The fact na kayo po ay mga doktor din, I would assume some of you are doctors over there. So you don't need expert opinions because you yourselves from among your group are already experts. Otherwise you wouldn't be accepted sa PRC. Am I right? So don't tell me about these expert doctors na kailangan pa magtistigo, etc., etc. All you need is 1 + 1. 1, may pasyente na may reklamo na naiwanan ng, sample lang po ito, naiwanan ng gunting sa loob ng katawan niya, may x-ray and all. And then 2, ito si doktor na inaamin niya, siya ngayon nag-opera at inaamin niya na naiwan ngayong gunting. Ano pang kailangan? Bakit abutin 10 taon? Sir,
Right now, sir, I don't have the data regarding how long those kinds of cases are, no?
okay.
But the profile of the cases that have been filed with the PRC for medical professionals, 212 unprofessional conduct, malpractice 7, negligence 249, violation of code of ethics with the code of ethics of the PMA adopted by the Board of Medicine 41, Immorality 47. And I cannot, maybe we have the head of the
Okay.
Board of Medicine and the head of our legal division. They may have the particular statistics regarding how long those clear-cut, I would say clear-cut cases would stay, because we have the aging of cases filed against doctors, and we admit that more than 5 years, there are 55%, meaning 313 out of 567.
Give me a list. Give us a list, Doc. Are you a doctor? Sir? You're a
Yes,
doctor?
yes, Your Honor.
Give us a list, Doc. Yung mga kaso na na-file, and then yung mga kasong nakabinbin, at yung mga kasong nabigyan nyo na ng resolution or na-resolve. I want files of those, right?
Yes, Your Honor. We will
Standby ka
submit
muna.
a detailed report on those statistics, Your
Ito
Honor.
naman tayo kay Mr. Go.
Sir.
Go ahead, Senator.
Excuse me, mabilisan lang po ito,
Yes.
Mr. Go. Kasi, mahaba naman sinasabi mo. Isang tanong lang. Would you deny, okay, wala po akong problema sa inyong negosyo, per se. Legitimate po yung negosyo ninyo. Meron kayong SEC, registration, BIR, FDA, approved yung mga drugs nyo. Wala tayong problema dyan, sir. Ang tanong ko ngayon, would you admit or deny na yung may mga doktor na pasok sa MLM ninyo ay nakakatanggap ng commission, yes or no? You are under oath. I remind you, Mr. Go, ulitin ko yung tanong ko para maging maliwanag. Would you admit or would you deny na yung mga doktor na ng inyong networking ay nakakatanggap ng komisyon coming from your company? Yes or no?
There are two.
No, sir. Yes or no? Yes or no lang po,
I
please.
deny.
You deny. Makukulong ka ngayon. Because meron ako mga cheque na magpapatunay na kayo, yung kumpanya mo, nag-issue sa mga doktor na miyembro ni... Yari ka ngayon. Kulong ka. You're under oath. Binigyan kita ng chance. I'll give you another chance. Doktor ka?
Yes po.
Okay. Kawawa ka naman, Doc. Ulitin ko. Sure ka, i-deny mo. Meron akong check rate na yung mga doktor na miyembro ng MLM ninyo ay hindi nakakatanggap ng komisyon. You said that.
It's not true po.
Okay. I rest my case, Mr. Chair. So mamaya, pakilinis lang sa baba.